In Civility, you are the leader of a growing city and its people.
The goal of the game is to be the first city to reach status level 5.
We're going to walk you through setup and gameplay.
So here are the components.
So we have the game board. On the game board, there is an action ring in the center. There are 2 decks in the game, a status deck and an event card deck. The status deck goes in the center of the action ring. A quick explanation of all the actions on the action ring. A 1, 2, or 3 will allow you to draw an event card. A 4 will allow you to build a bridge. A 5 will allow you to upgrade your city. You upgrade your city by changing the die, moving it up 1 in the department that you're upgrading. A 6 will allow you to attack or build a bridge. Any die will allow you to move your army. Any doubles will allow you to recruit defenders. So if a roll comes up with 2 6s, you can place 1 6 on the action ring and add 6 to your defenders. The other 6 is not used by you, it's passed on. Then there are 2 combos here. A 1 and a 3 allow you to steal a turn. Take that steal a turn token and save it. A 2 and a 4 combo allow you to grab an attack anytime token and save it. Each player will be taking a city board and a player board. Their city board goes on the game board right here. The city board keeps track of all the city's department levels. And the player board goes in front of the city board, and it keeps track of the city's status levels. These are the event cards. They're placed at the side of the board, and these are the perk cards that are also placed at the side of the board.
The player board keeps track of the city's status level. Activated ability or perk cards can be set on the player board or just next to it. The status token is placed outside the status tracker at the beginning of the game.
At the end of setup, you're going to turn over the top status card. If that's a battle-related card, it's going to go over here in the secondary status pile, and you're going to turn over another one. If the first one was not battle-related, you're just going to leave that one. You'll also need some dice to roll. You need 1 less than the number of players. Since we're set up for 4, we grab 3 dice.
Each player is also dealt a personal status card. The goal of the game is to be the first city to reach status 5. You gain status levels by claiming status cards. In this case, there are 2 status cards, one where you could trade in 3 army and 3 defenders, and one where you can win a battle. To start the game, everyone is dealt 2 event cards. A basic round starts with the diplomat rolling the dice. These are the dice that will be available to all the players for the entire round. Each player will then take their turn for that round. So a basic turn would look like this. A player would choose 1 die to save or use toward an action or an ability. They'd place it in the action ring to indicate that it is no longer available for the round. The player can then play up to 2 cards from their hands, and then to signal the end of their turn, they would draw 1 event card. A player must end their turn with no more than 4 cards in their hand. The player would then pass the remaining dice clockwise, and the next player would begin their turn. They will choose from the remaining dice. They will not be re-rolling the dice. Usually the last player in a round will not have any dice remaining. This is a forced no die. They just draw 2 cards, play up to 2 cards from their hand, and then the round is over. They do not get to take a final card. The diplomat token is passed clockwise and the next round begins.
The event deck has 5 different types of cards. First, we'll talk about action cards. Action cards will have various actions that can be performed. The bottom of the card will show the cost to play that card. This one costs nothing. This one requires a 5. If you play this card, you will not be performing any action from the action ring this turn, since you are only allowed to use 1 die per turn. Anytime cards are cards that can be played anytime, even when it's not your turn. This one cancels a played card by another player. Ability cards are activated and placed in front of you. They will have lasting effects throughout the game and will stay with you indefinitely until removed. This one requires a 2 to activate, and this one requires a combo of 3 and 6. We'll explain combos in a bit. You can have no more than 1 simple or single die ability and 1 complex or combo die ability activated at a time. Anytime you want to replace an ability, just play a new one and discard the old one. Battle cards are only played during a battle. They will affect the battle's outcome. World events have some sort of action that will affect everyone. When a world event card is drawn, it is immediately turned face up for everyone to see. Then, starting with the player to the left of the person who drew the world event, the player will perform the action on the card. For this one, everyone rolls a die and then draws half that number of cards.
Attacking works like this. In order to attack another city, you must have your army and a bridge in the port of the city you're attacking.
When moving your army or building a bridge, it's done in no order or sequence. Your army can be moved directly into any other city's port, and your bridge can be built directly into any other city's port, and it's done in no particular order. Bridge could come first, army could come second, or vice versa.
Certain cards or abilities will allow you to attack without a bridge or an army in place. If an unoccupied bridge is in a city's port, any army may use it to attack. After an attacking city has announced that they are going to attack, the defending city has the option to play cards from their hand face down. Only battle cards will help in the battle. Then, the attacking city can either retreat, or they can have a chance to play cards face down if they choose to attack. After any modifying cards are played, they are revealed and a winner is determined. The attacker's army, plus health, plus any card effects, make up their total attack level. The defender's army, if their army is home, plus defenders and any card effects, make up their total defense level. The highest total wins. If the attacking city wins, they gain 1 level in education, economy, technology, and government, and they must choose a department in which the defending city will lose 1 level in, excluding government, and the attacker also loses a defender. If the defending city wins, they must choose 2 department levels to gain 1 in, or 1 department to gain 2 levels in, excluding government. The attacker loses 1 army and 1 government. After the battle takes place, all bridges and armies return home. Some abilities and status cards may require a dice combo. The only way to get a dice combo is to save a die. When saving a die, you place the die you want on the action board and use your die tracker to indicate what number you have saved. You may hold the die until the pair you need becomes available to you in a future turn. You can trade in both dice for the combo needed. A player saving a die may not draw 2 cards when they are left with no dice for their turn. A player may only save 1 die. If a player no longer wants the die they have saved, they may turn it in and draw a card at the beginning of their turn. Claiming a status card. When a player can meet all the requirements on a status card during their turn, they can claim it. Some status cards require payments, so this one says trade in 3 army and 3 defense. So once the city does that, they can take the status card, put it on the bottom of the deck, move their status up a level on their player board, and they gain a new ability, losing all previous abilities. After that, the 4 perk cards are redistributed. The next status card is then turned over, the player completes their turn, and the game goes on. A player may only claim 1 status per turn.
So that's set up in basic gameplay.
If you have any questions or need any clarifications, or if you want to know how many times I beat Ryan at this game, please email us.
0. We think you'll really enjoy Civility.
100.